Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday evening to you all. Hope you guys are having a great night out there so far and have had yourselves a great day, a great work week. I know I'm coming at you a little late. As I mentioned in previous videos, I had the first soccer practice tonight. I'm the head coach. So first off, I want to say thank you all for all the prayers. Had a little anxiety before the game or before the first practice, and certainly just like I kind of thought was going to happen, within 10 minutes of into the practice, all that went away, and I just started having a lot of fun with a bunch of kids. So it was a successful night, so I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers there. I really do. But I'm coming at you a little bit late because of that. But we're going to give you guys some good information. Unfortunately, the next HRRR model, the next long-range HRRR model is about to start running right now. So I can only give you the latest long-range HRRR model that ran about 4 or 5 hours ago. But it's still good information. But of course, the next run that goes 48 hours out will come out here in the next hour, hour and a half. So I won't be able to give you that. But of course, I'll have you update information as we are waking up tomorrow morning. This is one of these events as this first system is pulling through or pulling out. And this next system is kind of coming in. This is one of those severe weather events tomorrow and to Thursday that could uptrend at the last second. So stay tuned to your local people, to the Storm Prediction Center, because sometimes I drop a video and within an hour or two they upgrade some of these risk areas to the next level up. So just want to remind you guys of that. So we're going to give you some good information. We're going to try to figure out how much snow is going to fall, who's going to see severe weather, and just try to figure it out for you guys. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. It goes a long way. I really appreciate people who continue to tune in. The views are certainly down from this time February last year, but it's okay. We're still enjoying it. We're still continuing the grind here and feeding you guys information, and I appreciate people who continue to watch. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Let's slow it down a little bit here. Water vapor loop. Look at this system right here. It is flying across the central portion of the country. It has entered the Midwest. Snow is beginning to fall already in portions of the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota. And blizzard conditions will last overnight and diminish as we get into tomorrow morning. But certainly overnight, there will be blizzard conditions in these areas up here in the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota. We have some reports of hail. No reports of tornadoes right now. I haven't seen any reports from these cold core setups. So, it didn't end up materializing as far as a tornado threat, which is good. But I think there's still another hour or two that we need to watch out for. But there is a thin layer of showers and storms kind of moving with this tail, if you will, with this negatively tilted trough. And our next system is digging down to the western U.S. as we speak right now. And then you will begin to see snow in portions of the Front Range overnight tonight, and then an all-out snowstorm will break out across portions of Colorado into Kansas tomorrow. So you can't really see it well in the out west, but this is our next system about to dig in, and this will promote a severe weather threat tomorrow and then for the next day also. So watches and warnings, there's a lot of strong winds out there. Wind advisories up on all these tan areas, kind of the sandy color right here. These right into here are winter storm watches. So they still haven't upgraded this to warnings yet, but by the time some of you folks watch this might get upgraded to a warning. Listen, someone is going to get very irritated if you're a winter weather fan and this little stripe of heavy snow right here across the middle of the country, because there is going to be a sharp cutoff between no snow and heavy snow. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here in a second. For example, you go from a winter storm warning in these far southwest counties in Nebraska to a winter weather advisory in the next county up. And then if you go one county above that, you have no advisories, no warnings, no anything. But I can tell you, western Kansas is pretty much a lock for a snowstorm. Colorado also, Denver, and we need to watch out for these areas. So, and then we'll see what happens with the severe weather as we get into tomorrow. So if we look at the system as a broad view, so this is our first system pulling out. Blizzard conditions overnight. This is for the time frame around midnight tonight, Central Time. You got blizzard conditions, going on in eastern sections of South Dakota, southeast sections of North Dakota, and western Minnesota. This will diminish as we're waking up tomorrow. It still probably will stay windy, but let's back this up a little bit. Snow will begin to fall in Denver here in the next few hours if it's not already doing so right now. Heavier snow will break out across areas of southern Colorado and southeast Colorado. It'll even snow in the panhandle of Oklahoma. There will even be a little bit of snow in sections of the far northern sections of the panhandle of Texas. But this snow really begins to take hold of eastern Colorado, western Kansas as we're getting into tomorrow afternoon. Just after lunchtime, this really starts to break out. But there's going to be a sharp cutoff somewhere like, what is it, Grand Island? Hopefully I said that city right. Lincoln, it's going to be close. Omaha right here, just south of these areas. You're going to see heavy snow. But if you just go 30, 40 miles the other direction up north, sharp cutoff. Someone down here, even in the panhandle of Oklahoma, is going to see a period of heavy snow. Could be some thunder snow down here. I would not be surprised if we see some flashes of lightning down here in the panhandle of Oklahoma, maybe far southern, southwest areas of Kansas. But this will be a corridor of snow that really breaks out. We'll continue. Don't focus too much on the severe weather, but at the same time, you got snow falling in maybe south and northwest areas of Oklahoma sometime around 10 p.m. tomorrow night. Snow up here in Kansas, southern Nebraska, snow starting to move into the northwest corner of Missouri into the overnight hours tomorrow, late tomorrow evening is what I'm trying to say, and then starting to enter the southwest corner of Iowa. But at the same time, storms explode, finally break through that cap, that warm air loft. There's an area of warm air aloft that really cripples updrafts from really getting going and really for big time storm development. But watch how it goes from nothing right down here to all of a sudden explosive storms. There's going to be a lot of dry air aloft, cold air aloft pushing in behind this positively tilted trough and this surface low. So when you have cold air aloft, some of these storms, and probably in eastern sections of Oklahoma and northern and northeast sections of Texas, could produce some large hail. Okay, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But let's not focus too much on the severe weather. But you see a lot of widespread storms developing tomorrow night, overnight. But for you folks wondering about the severe weather, please stay tuned. We're going to zoom in a little bit closer. I'm really focusing in a lot on the snow. The snow starts to break out over northern and northwest sections of Missouri, starts to really take hold. Look at this cutoff right here. Omaha right here. It's snowing like crazy to your south, but it looks like most of the snow misses you guys. But there is going to be a sharp cutoff sometime in the middle of the night tomorrow night of heavy snow to no snow. And Des Moines might be a city where you're right on that. Wintry mix begins to take hold in the wee hours of the morning, probably north of St. Louis. It'll stay mainly rain for St. Louis for Thursday morning. Then Thursday morning, look, the HRRR model wants to say, hey, as you're waking up Thursday morning for Chicago, you might be in for a wintry mess. Some of these previous models, and the latest HRRR model is about to run. Some of these previous global models said that Chicago was going to stay mostly rain. But we'll see what happens with this. You know, the latest HRRR model wants to flip you guys to maybe a burst of heavy snow at the end. But I think Milwaukee, up the western coastline of Lake Michigan up to Milwaukee, basically between Green Bay and Chicago, somewhere in this area is going to get rocked with some heavy snow. And then this continues to move. And I think this will be a pretty big snowstorm Thursday for most of the state of Michigan. Okay, and we'll talk more on that as we get a little bit closer. But snow between now and Friday evening, it really tells you how sharp the cutoff is from north to south. But right in the middle, there's going to be a corridor of anywhere from 6 to maybe as much as 9 to 10 inches of snow, stretching from the Front Range all the way through Nebraska, all the way through Iowa, northern sections. This is the National Weather Service. Northwest corner of Missouri, a half a foot of snow. Some areas are going to get 7 to 8 inches of snow in Nebraska and Kansas. In fact, we'll zoom in on a couple states here. We'll look at Colorado. Denver being up here. I think just south of Denver will get the most snow, but Denver will get accumulating snow. But really these areas down here in southern sections and the plains of Colorado, of eastern Colorado, will get a substantial snowstorm from this. Any widespread, probably anywhere from 4 to maybe as much as 10 inches of snow. You move into Kansas. This is going to be a big snowstorm for western Kansas. Accumulating snow also in the panhandle of Oklahoma. Even some counties in far northern panhandle of Texas will see snow. But 9, 8 inches of snow, maybe 10 inches of snow is possible in some of these counties and northwest Nebraska. But like I said, you start to get into Nebraska, and let's see if we can find it here. You get into Nebraska, there is a sharp cutoff. Omaha's in here somewhere. And yeah, let's actually look. Let's see if we can look at the cities. Come on, is there Omaha? There is. Awesome here. Omaha right in here. So your guys are probably going to get some snow. So I mistalked a little bit earlier in the video. Looks like you guys are going to be just on the northern fringe of heavy snow. So maybe 2 to 4, 5 inches of snow. If this shifts a little bit north, y'all could get into the corridor, maybe 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. But right now, you're in that corridor of snow for you winter weather fans in Omaha. Okay, Des Moines, I think you could get, potentially 4 to 5 inches of snow. I would say the National Weather Service is buying more so the northern extent of the storms, and that typically happens. A lot of times the snow gets a little bit further north than what models show. So let's switch gears and talk about severe weather now. Tomorrow, nothing has really changed. Actually, there was a chance for significant hail, but that has been dropped now. There is no hatched area of significant hail anymore, but that could get rehatched. But for now, a massive slight risk, a level 2 out of 5. This is basically from just west of Dallas all the way to just west of Nashville, Tennessee. Could it get extended? I would not be surprised if this gets extended a little bit further east. Okay, I think there's going to be a nocturnal. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think there's going to be a nocturnal supercell tornado threat in certain portions of the Mid-South tomorrow night. But right now, 5% risk of a tornado, huge area. I think probably sometime tomorrow you could get a 10% risk issued. But right now, brown area, 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles in a given location for you folks in this brown area. There will be a wind threat, 15% risk, and a hail threat, 30% risk. I would not be surprised if there is a hatched risk, which means there's probably going to be some kind of black outlined area way back here in probably southeast Oklahoma and northeast Texas. Would not be surprised one bit. And what it means when you have a hatch risk, it means there's a 10% or greater probability of at least 2-inch diameter hail or larger within 25 miles at any given point. This 15% risk for now is just 1 inch. So moving forward here, let's talk about how this could evolve tomorrow. So we'll start this at around 7 p.m. Central Time tomorrow evening. So storms are beginning to initialize south of Tulsa, just southwest of Oklahoma City, southeast of Oklahoma City, just north of Dallas. Quickly, some storms explode after the sun is setting. It's around 9 p.m. Scatter convection really gets going. So I really think the majority of the severe weather threat tomorrow will happen after the sun goes down, unfortunately. And look how close snow is. It's really close. It tells you how dynamic this system is, even though it's positively tilted. You're starting to get to about 11, 12 a.m. at night. So right now, we'll stop it. This is midnight tomorrow night. Look at these little kidney bean looks. Look at just north of Little Rock. Look at even these storms. These could be producing damaging winds, large hail, moving into Arkansas out of Oklahoma. Okay, and then look at this. Look in the northern half of Mississippi, even up here into western Tennessee, near Jonesboro, Arkansas. I mean, all the way up here into Kentucky. Look at these storms. They're firing up overnight, not during the afternoon with daytime heating. They're firing up overnight. So we're getting into after midnight tomorrow night. Okay, and we're getting widespread supercell development. They're semi-discrete, but this is a dangerous look for overnight tomorrow night. Now, the next HRRR model is about to run. It could show something totally different. And that's why I hate the fact that, this is not necessarily old information, but at the same time, another long-range HRRR model is literally starting to run right now. But in general, this is believable, okay? As of now, so you're going to have a lot of multi-clusters that are going to really get going in the wee hours of the morning. Then by the time we're waking up, a lot of these storms weaken, and then we watch for another area that begins to develop. And we'll talk about this here in a minute. Let's focus on this first event for tomorrow. So what's going to happen as, you're waking up tomorrow morning, you'll notice in Little Rock to Dallas, there's still a crisp feeling in the air. There's no humidity. But as you're going throughout the morning hours, getting to the afternoon, you'll notice there'll be a little bit of juice to the air. Dew points will rise into the low 60s, deep into the 60s in Louisiana, even some 70s. So very moist air, broad moist sector develops, and then immediately this cold front begins to collapse from west to east, and here it comes. But at the same time, look at all this moist air. You got dew points into the 60s all the way into the southeast corner of Missouri. And at the same time, on the northwest part of Missouri, you got a winter storm ongoing. So this is a huge moist sector. Now, the dry air is closing in fast, and immediately when that dry air moves in, the severe weather threat goes away. But you still have to deal with all this moist air. These aren't temperatures, guys. These are dew points. You have to deal with all this moist air. Dew points in the 60s is certainly supportive enough for severe weather in a setup like this, especially with the kinematics that we'll talk about here in a second. So there's going to be an atmosphere that's going to be ripe tomorrow evening into overnight tomorrow night to the wee hours of the morning for severe weather in Arkansas, the northern pretty much almost all of Louisiana, western Texas, it's probably northern sections of Louisiana, even up into western areas of Kentucky. Okay, so that's worrisome. Okay, because it's in the middle of the night. Let's talk about the severe weather threat for tomorrow, and then we'll wrap this video up. Still a massive slight risk, but I'm not going to guarantee it. But I have some pretty high confidence that there's going to be an enhanced risk that's issued somewhere into this area, right into here. You're probably where the best overlapping of kinematics, the wind energy you need, and thermodynamics, the CAPE, storm fuel, the higher dew points, and surface temperature, things like that. Okay, wherever they overlap the best, I think is going to be right into here. Okay, so this is what we need to watch. But I'm not saying there's going to be an enhanced risk because they haven't made it an enhanced risk. But enhanced will be level 3 out of 5. But right now, just a massive slight risk. So about the only thing we can look at, and of course, we're about to lose the 18Z and about to go to the OOZ, which will be the next long-range HRRR model. We can only go out 48 hours out, which is to a literally midday lunchtime Thursday. And what's worrisome is, what's good is, you lose some steam with these storms Thursday morning, but watch how they begin to erupt at the last frame. There's some nasty storms developing here in southeast Louisiana and southern sections of of Mississippi that will eventually make their way northeast into Alabama. And you're going to have decent surface heating building into this area. And dew points, even though you got a collapsing cold front, dew points are going to rise in this warm sector, okay, to probably well into the 60s. And then, so ahead of this, you're going to have an open sector of ingredients that is going to support some severe weather, okay? And this is going to last, we'll take it all the way up to Kentucky and Tennessee, okay? Man, I think we just lost it. Nope, we didn't. We're still good. Kentucky and Tennessee. I mean, these are going to have ingredients to work with too up here in Kentucky and Tennessee. You lose a little bit of thermodynamics, but you have more kinematics up here. And those are the two mashing things. And wherever they overlap the best, it's going to be where your worst severe weather is going to be. But these storms are going to be significant. It's probably going to be a severe weather day in Kentucky Thursday also. Okay? So definitely, prepare for that. So, the latest HRRR model, long range only goes out to 7 hours, so that kind of stinks, but is what it is. So the ingredients for Thursday, like I said, we're getting into Thursday morning. Look at all these dew points rising into the 60s, all the way up into southern sections of Indiana, Illinois, then same kind of deal into Ohio, Kentucky, and then we'll stop it here. This is around the middle of the afternoon, late afternoon, Thursday. Look at these dew points well into the 60s. They might be all the way up into the 70s in southern sections. So you mix this, your best thermodynamics, which is where you fit your higher dew points, are going to be down here to the south, as they always are. Dew points in the 50s and 60s aren't very supportive, but they can work in some situations, and they will work in this situation probably. So better thermodynamics, but up here, you got better kinematics. So this is the same time frame. You see here in the browner area right here, that is a low-level jet pushing 50 to 60 knots, about 5,000 feet above our heads. So winds are ripping, spinning these updrafts a little bit better up here. But you still have a weaker, maybe 30 to 40 knot low-level jet. But that can work, okay? So wherever they overlap, which I think will be right into here, that's where your biggest severe weather threat's going to be for Thursday. But I'll continue to keep you all updated. I might be out chasing Thursday. Long haul for sure, but not sure what I'm going to do yet. It's probably going to be a last-second call for me. So but that's all I got. Hope that information helped you guys. God bless all y'all, and I'll have you an update in the morning.